Starting recording right now.
I mean, kids in this world because of him?
Stop. I was the Mountain Peak of Pie in 8th grade. Stop it.
Four.
Not anymore.
TP12.
Cancel.
Three.
Period.
2.
Period. Hey, I'm back like I never left. Did you guys
Welcome
miss
back,
me?
Nikki.
Of
Thank
course
you,
we miss you,
Victor.
man. Of course we miss
Welcome to Trust the Process Live.
Definitely should get some viewership spikes today without Jake in that spot.
Wow.
Just saying.
Jake, we miss you, bro. I got you.
Listen, whatever. I'm back, and I'm happy to be home in the Mighty Phillies studio. And now that All-Star Week is behind us, we got a lot to break down. So, hey, Brian, can you show us what the people can win today? If you share this show like you are supposed to do every week, you can win this
That's a
beautiful
dope picture.
art by Jordan Spector of Joel Embiid. Oh, it says Trust the
Talented
Process on the
man. That's a
ball with the
talented man right
skyline.
there.
Okay, well, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But first, we got a lot of things to talk about. So, just on Saturday, we suffered one of the ugliest losses we have right now against the Trailblazers. So it kind of begs the question, was last year's All-Star game run a fluke?
I mean, after one game for S&G, sure, yeah, we're going to say it is a fluke. And here's the reason why. They have a different team than what they had last year, but their offense is still very vanilla. And they still have the same problems that they had before. In the half-court set, it's very predictable what they're going to do. They haven't found ways to make Jimmy Butler effective. His shot count has literally dropped to about 9 to 10 shots a game, which is not what a 20-point-per-game guy is going to be able to do to give you that effectiveness. And then defense, I mean, they're just terrible defensively. You went and got guys that could play perimeter defense that haven't played perimeter defense. That's coaching. That's preparation. I don't see them being any better than they were last year, maybe through the first round, but they're going in the second round. That's if they don't get Boston. They get Boston, they're done in the first round.
Well, I'm going to say it's not a fluke. And we've only had a couple, a small sample size of the very new Sixers team with Tobias Harris and even Boban, who stepped up. In Joel Embiid's absence, didn't give you a Joel Embiid game, but didn't look terrible.
For what he had to do, he was solid.
Exactly.
Great if he had him in FanDuel.
And going against Yusuf Nurkic, who in past seasons has been an all-star level type center before the injuries, they're going to find ways to exploit that void with Joel Embiid not in there. Right. So I'm not going to take this one game and blow it up and just say that last year was a fluke. But I will say this, that when you get to playoff time, especially down the stretch, those new players, the addition of Jimmy Butler, the addition of Tobias Harris, we have yet to see what they can do in a Sixers uniform when it gets down to the stretch towards playoff time. Those different types of
20
players.
games left isn't towards playoff time?
Yeah, well, I'm talking down the stretch and also
In basketball.
into the playoffs. Into the playoffs, into the first round, into the second round. I see them stepping up in a much different way, especially since the Sixers didn't have those type of players last year. You have a player in Jimmy Butler who can actually go and get you a bucket late in games and win games.
Oh, he can.
Tobias
How did he look the other day when they needed a bucket? I'm just asking for a friend.
Okay.
Well, how did he look? How did he look when he first got here against Brooklyn and against
And
Charlotte?
that was before they went and got Toby Harris.
It gives you need time to mesh with all these all-stars in the game. You need time for a team to mesh like that.
All right.
It's happening every team.
So if you think it was a fluke at home when you're watching this right now, please comment or like and share. But also like and share anyway, whether you think it's a fluke
You
or
want to win that
not.
picture.
We know ET is the resident Philadelphia hater, so I'm trying to play the other side.
Hey, I'm just going to the spade.
Okay, well, GJ, you mentioned it a little bit, but ET, should we be concerned about Joel Embiid's health?
You should have been concerned about Joel Embiid's health since he was in high school. You kidding me? Listen, this guy can't stay healthy. I don't care what you call it. Listen, they said he had this injury weeks ago, and then he went to the All-Star game and played in a game that meant absolutely nothing other than fanfare and faith. And by the way, he wasn't even the attraction of the show. It was a Giannis show, really, and NKD. The point I'm making is this. And it happened last year with the Rockets game where he sat there, he played a Rockets game because it was on TV. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. And then he ended up missing 3 or 4 weeks, most of the back end of the season because of it. And this is where you have to be better. If you're playing for the playoffs, not playing for the regular season, not playing for All-Star games, playing for a chance to compete for a national championship in the NBA, you have to put your guys in positions to do that. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you're in a position to manage your players, manage their workload. Embiid shouldn't be playing 38, 40 minutes a night. That's why you went and got Boban. That's why you have Jonah Bowden. You got to mix those lineups up. You got to find ways, and this is where, as I've been screaming, coaching matters. I like Brett Brown. I think he's a great guy. He's a player's coach. Ben Simmons apparently likes him. But guess what? He's never going to take this team from this level to this level. And sometimes you need to change the coach to take him over the top.
I would have said that you should have been very concerned with Joel Embiid's injuries post-trades. Now that after the trades, I think you can ease up on it a little bit, and the fact that when you do switch around those lineups, the problem that the Sixers had before, a huge problem, is when Joel Embiid went out of the lineup, they had trouble finding ways to score, trouble finding ways to have a go-to person on the court to score. Now when you take him out of the lineup and you have additions of Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, you can play around with the lineup so that you have a scorer on the floor pretty much at all times of the game. So that allows Joel Embiid's minutes to go down, which will help his injuries and help him going forward. But I think overall, as a team, you got to be, very, very cognizant of Joel Embiid's injuries.
How many points did they give the other night?
To Portland? Mm-hmm. 120 something, 130 something.
And the point I'm making is, it ain't about just offense; it's defense. You have to be able to stop teams.
Absolutely.
When you can't make a stop, it doesn't matter how much you can score. See, unless you're the Golden State Warriors who can be down 20 in the fourth quarter and come back and win because they've got shooters everywhere, nobody else in the NBA has that ability. You have to be able to get stops. And the problem is, you can't coach effort. You can coach a lot of things, but you can't coach effort.
Preach.
Either the guys are going to have it or they're not. And so you've got a guy in Brett Brown who doesn't coach these guys to put the amount of effort necessary to be great on the defensive end of the floor. And that's what's killing them. It's been what's killing them. And the turnovers. I mean, they have some games they're great at turnovers, and other games they're just really, really bad at them. So I don't really know what else it is that they can do at this point to kind of turn that around this year. Again, I think that Brett Brown being there, and I've said it before, that culture of losing for so long, not having to coach these guys up. Now you're putting him in a position where he has to win. He doesn't know how to coach to win because he's never had to win until now.
You made the point of effort. I think you can see on a nightly basis there's not a lack of effort out there on the Sixers.
What effort Jimmy Butler gave you on defense?
We can't confuse energy with effort.
Right.
So let's be very clear about what we see when we don't. Because also when you can see it more clearly when they're away. Because they like being home, because then they can feed off a different energy. So like
as every team does.
Yeah, but some people get fired up. Like you're rooting against me. Like negative reinforcements and positive reinforcements. And the current Sixers we have, based off of how long they've each played, and they're like star quality or whatever it is, like their popularity, they're not a very good like negative reinforcement.
Man, Jimmy
team.
thinking about playing somewhere else next year.
Well, listen. You kind of mentioned that earlier that without Embiid that we did go out and get people so that we couldn't stop worrying about his health so much. But E.T., I need to get your opinion. Who do you think is going to help us more now that, Embiid is hurt? Is it going to be Tobias or is it going to be Jimmy?
Listen, Tobias Harris is a very good NBA player. He's a good NBA player. This is the first year he was really considered to be all-star level. Not true. Jimmy Butler considered to be all-star level.
In somebody's conversation.
Right.
Like
listen, he's been a good player in the NBA. But what I'm saying to you is Jimmy Butler's been perennially considered top 3, top 4 at his position. Okay. Pretty much for most of his career. Going back all the way to Chicago when he played with Derrick Rose in the backcourt. So he's always been a 20-point-per-game guy that gave you effort on both ends of the floor. And what he's done here has literally a diminished version of him. I don't know if he's trying to conserve himself. I don't know if he's just trying to fit in. I don't know if he wants to push the tempo differently. But the way he plays basketball here and the way he's played basketball at other places like Minnesota, like when he played in Chicago, isn't the same.
Yeah.
And they haven't found ways to use him and do what he does well. Granted, he's a lot like James Harden. ISO, give him a ball, quick screen, let him create. You can't do that when Ben Simmons has the ball in his hand for 18 of the 24 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah.
That's what's killing him. And Brett Brown has to find a way to manage that.
Brett Brown.
Well, that's to the other side. I think the more vital person I think is going to be Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. The fact that Jimmy Butler is waiting for the offense and the team to come to him is going to hinder them a little bit. Tobias Harris is opposite. Tobias Harris in that first game was aggressive. Went and got his bucket. They need way more of that going down the stretch. They need more of that aggressive scoring that Tobias Harris can bring on the offensive end. And to your point that Jimmy Butler was always this perennial person, top 4 or 5 position. Tobias Harris may not have been top 4, top 5 at his position, but Tobias Harris since his time with the Orlando Magic has been all-star level. I mean, we have a person in the All-Star game this year who was averaging 14 points a game. Tobias Harris gives you way more than that, especially energy and effort, as we talked about earlier. So I think more vital.
I want to be clear. So
yes.
Is your position that Jimmy Butler is waiting for the team to come to him, or he's waiting for the team to step up? Because if the idea is that there's a difference between energy and effort, then would you agree that it's not necessarily Jimmy waiting for them to come to him, just waiting for them to step up?
I would say,
and he's going about it right.
When I say waiting for it to come to him, waiting for the offense, like ET said, waiting for the offense to come to him instead of inserting himself like Tobias Harris did. That very first game when Tobias Harris came in and got his, went and sought his bucket, sought his spot on the floor, didn't really wait to see what the offense was going to do for his little crease in it to go in it. He made it happen. And I think if he does that continuously down the stretch, it's going to help them way more, especially when Joel Embiid comes back.
Okay, well, real quick.
Well, no, I was going to say it helps because Tobias is more of a catch-and-shoot guy. That's the strength of his game. So him being able to pick spots on the floor, he's not like Redick who has to come off a curl screen to get a look. He can literally stand in the corner and wait for the ball and then knock it down. That helps in terms of what they need. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to switch gears just a little bit. So if you have any more Sixers comments or questions, please comment them right now or ask them in the comment section below, and we will get to them during our opponent.
Somebody got to win that picture, man. If not, I'm
taking it home.
Yeah, so ET keeps saying that because I don't know if I mentioned it clear enough that the winner of the photo that we just saw that Aaron walked past with, that winner is going to be based off of the share. So share this show all week to see if you will win that. So I'm going to share several times when I
get home. If not, ET's going to be mad because I'm going to take it home.
No, you're going to be mad when I take it home. But anyway, because we're still on the main event, but I got to switch to a little Phillies real quick because there's a lot going on with that whole, trade.
No Manny Machado?
Oh. Manny Machado.
Shut up.
Did Bryce Harper sign yet?
Stop.
No,
okay.
I already
So wait.
6 weeks
So Craig Kimbrel, that's right, stated that he'll sit out a year if he doesn't get the money that he's asking for. So should the Phillies, the question is, should the Phillies chill out on trying to sign Bryce Harper right now and then go after Kimbrel?
I want to hear this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, from the standpoint of, I think Craig Kimbrel addresses a way bigger issue on the Phillies team than Bryce Harper does. We got people
Interesting.
we do. To get another to get a bona fide closer.
I'll leave and there's no more sound effects. I need a ooh.
No, because I think addressing that issue of having an actual bona fide closer at the back end of that bullpen will really help the Phillies. When Craig Kimbrel comes in, he shuts the game down. And I think if the Phillies have enough and got enough with Andrew McCutchen, Gene Segura, now that Rhys Hoskins goes back to his normal position at first base and gets more comfortable with himself, they're going to have bats and they're going to have a little bit of run support. Don't look at me like that, ET, because then I'm right a little bit. Okay. If they bring in Craig Kimbrel a little bit, they got David Robertson for those 7th and 8th innings, and they get Craig Kimbrel in the 9th to shut it all the way down. 3 or 4 runs should do it to you for most of the time.
Okay, so all right.
Wow.
This is why you do basketball.
So
go ahead.
First of all, Craig Kimbrel is a closer.
Right.
You can only close if you're in a position to win.
Absolutely.
Guess what the Phillies struggle with? Starting pitching. Because once you get past Aaron Nola, you've got a Jake Arrieta who's a diminished version of himself and a whole bunch of guys who are probably bottom of the rotation type guys.
Wow.
They need pitching in order to get them in a position where the bats can get them some runs so that they can have a Craig Kimbrel. Keep in mind, they also have a guy called Sir Anthony Dominguez who at one point was one of the hottest arms in baseball in terms of relief pitching. I think the problem is he got gassed because he hadn't pitched that many innings, and Gabe Kapler used him way too much. Now you've added extra guys to the bullpen that are going to help stretch him out and give him an opportunity to be used. That's great.
Wow.
To jump on Craig Kimbrel when everybody all season has been looking at getting Harper or Machado, and now Machado's off the board. So you've got all Harper.
Yeah.
And you had the owner come out and say, I'm willing to spend stupid money. And that's all you've heard for literally 2 months. And now you're telling me that they should pull the plug on the top guy that nobody else is offering the same kind of money to go after Craig Kimbrel, who's a closer. When you can find closers and you already have a guy who could be considered a closer.
Didn't you just make the point? I thought we signed Bryce Harper 6 weeks ago. This thing has dragged on for so long. I'm not saying
you can't walk away from it though when you got the best offer on the table.
Do they?
Because
now the Dodgers are coming back in the mix. You have other people coming back in the mix. The point I'm making is it might be time to start turning focus elsewhere. The more and more
they've got money to turn it elsewhere.
But the more that this Bryce Harper signing gets more of an afterthought and farther away from actually being tangible, now you got to start putting your focus elsewhere before you lose out like other people in the deal too, because your focus was still on Bryce Harper as he's walking away from the deal.
Well, here's the thing.
If he's not signing yet, what's the realistic probability he's going to sign here now?
Here's the thing. Boris is a total bleep hole, okay? He always has been. And the way he does business and dealings is he's always about trying to be the guy that got his guy the biggest contract.
Right.
That was been his talk for going back 3 seasons ago when he said, I'm going to get Bryce Harper $400 million. Nobody's giving Bryce Harper $400 million. But they found a number somewhere that they're going to get. All they got to do is get the Phillies to come up to that number. Now, whether they do or they don't, nobody knows. But what I do know is that from everything that I've heard, everything I've read, everybody that I've followed, the Phillies have made the best in terms of length, longevity, and total offer out of any other team. Now, if it's about average salary to make it a little bit bigger so he passes Giancarlo Stanton, so be it. They can work those numbers out. But the thing is, and this is me, I don't think Bryce Harper wants to come here. You tell me I'm going to give you $350 million and I got to think about it. I don't want to come here. I'd rather go to LA and play for 3 years at, $35 million a year. That's a different mindset. But that's just me.
Okay, so since we do have a lot of money, are there other free agents that we should be looking at?
So I'll go back to my original argument. Dallas Keuchel makes a lot of sense.
We don't need anybody else in this city named Dallas.
Well,
I've had enough.
If they come and give us wins,
I'm good.
if they come and give us wins, they could be named whatever.
Good. The Eagles just lost to go to the Super Bowl again. Give me a second.
I like him in terms of if you get him in a 2-year deal, and you get him on a 2-year deal, you pay him a little bit more. You give him 2 years. Here's the problem: he's a guy on the plus side of 30. He's losing some velocity on his ball. This is a low spin fastball that he throws. He's more of a down and in pitcher. In Citizens Bank Ballpark, can he have success? Absolutely, as long as the defense behind him is good, which should be a lot better this year than what it was, which was god-awful.
Especially in the outfield. Especially in the outfield.
So that may help.
Don't
I think you can get him at a premium because he's still sitting out there, and he wants to play for a team that can compete. He's coming from the Astros, for crying out loud.
Right.
So he wants to play for a team that's going to be competing for the World Series, and I think the Phillies give him a chance to do that. He comes and gets to be a 3 instead of a 2 or a 1. Not as much pressure. Maybe even put him ahead of Arrieta. I don't know.
You still put him behind Arrieta.
Maybe. I don't know. It all depends. But what I think is that makes sense for me.
Real quick.
Okay, real quick. For the same reasons, I want to go Gio Gonzalez.
Okay.
You know, if you miss
He's been here before.
Yeah, if you miss out on Keuchel, then you go for Gio. Same, a lefty in the rotation because we need more left-handed pitching.
His ERA's been up lately.
All right, and a plus side of 30, losing a little velocity. He showed that last year in Washington and then going over to Oakland too. So he's shown that he's losing a little bit of velocity too. But also don't look away from Carlos Gonzalez. Had a down year the last couple of years. Maybe
Been hurt a lot.
Made the All-Star game last year. And if you put him in the middle of the lineup, he's going to be your Ryan Howard. He might give you a lot of strikeouts.
Well, where does he play?
But
you need another. And that's I guess if you're not
going to get Harper. If you're not getting Harper, then you stick him in. You hide him in right field.
33.
Yeah, you stick him in right field, hide him in right field, and especially that short porch in right field. He's a lefty too, so hit him in that short porch in right field. He can get a lot of home runs at Citizens Bank Park.
Okay. We got to move on to halftime, but thanks for your main event. Also, don't forget to like and share and comment and ask all of your questions under this link right now. I'm ready for this halftime too because we are graced with some artistic royalty here. Yeah, so I need everybody to welcome Jordan Spector of Spector Sports Art to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Jordan?
How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So tell us about these amazing pieces that we're looking at.
In my opinion, you got an old legend of Philadelphia and a new legend, an up-and-coming legend. You got Joel Embiid, Brian Dawkins. In my opinion, two of my best pieces that I've done. That's why I brought them. Yeah.
Well, we love them. I love the skyline in the back. As you can see, we kind of like our skyline a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah. So how long have you been painting sports like athletes?
I've been doing art my entire life, but I started doing this about 4 years ago. So I haven't really done this prior to that. And I'm just so passionate about football and other sports, and it's what I enjoy the most in my artwork. So that's how I got into it.
Well, we are super psyched to have you here and to see this amazing art. Can you tell us how we can find more of your work?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Spector_art. I also have another page, Spector Sports Art. You can follow both those pages. My website is spectorsportsart.com. I have all my work on there. I sell prints of a lot of my work as well, so you can check that out. Yeah.
That's awesome. So we're going to add the link into the comments below. Someone's going to do that. Thank you. So don't forget, viewers, if you want to win the piece, the Joel Embiid piece, that Jordan Spector painted, then you have to share this show, and we will pick a winner from the people who share this show. So you have all week to share, like the entire week. So share as much as you want to. I mean, you're going to have to beat.
Not just tonight.
You're going to have to beat me to get that because I really like it.
Can I declare my share right now, so I can be entered in it? Does that work like that?
No.
No?
What?
Well,
see, this is why he won't ever let you on the show, JJ.
Well, I'm on it now, so share.
Well, don't forget to like and comment. So we're all going to be in a fight for that piece. Thank you so much, Jordan. All right. So now it's time for some rapid fire. Do you know what rapid means?
Rapid, quickly moving. I'm here for it.
I hope so. E.T.,
You know I know.
eat him alive.
All right.
Ready. Should the Eagles
enemies,
consider signing Le'Veon Bell?
Go ahead.
Yes, they should. They got a void at running back right now, and Le'Veon Bell is one of the, if not the best running back in the league, and he's a dual threat. One of the best running backs in the league, also one of the best running backs out of the backfield catching the ball. If you can afford to sign Le'Veon Bell, I say do it.
So I was going to say yes, but my answer actually is flipped to a hell no, and here's the reason why. They've got way too many holes on this team to invest $20 million into a running back. Way too many spots, too many question marks. You got to go offensive line, defensive line, linebacker. You've got problems at wide receiver. What the heck's going on there? You also still need a running back. And the big thing is, what the heck is going on with Nicky Foles? We still haven't gotten that determined. Way too much money has to go to too many places to invest that kind of money into
Well, I think it happens after they figure out what they're doing at Foles. Plus, you can have your offensive line, defensive lineman draft. You can go to the draft for a bunch of offensive, defensive line.
You need to start on that left
I
side.
was about to say, that's not how rapid fire
Go ahead,
works.
go ahead, go ahead. I had to
give a good one.
I had to get one more point in. Go ahead.
Okay, so March is coming up. Who is going further in the tournament, Temple or Nova?
Temple got to make it first. We still Temple's a bubble team right now, so I don't know if they're gonna.
Right, yeah, it's a lot of owls in the room.
Yeah,
I
my
just wanna
fault.
say
Don't get
that,
mad.
like-
Don't jump
You're
on
gonna
me.
get booed for that.
Yeah,
Y'all seen that owl that's on Twitter all over the thing? That's their owl. It's a lot of owls in this room.
Don't jump on me, Owls. But no, they got to make it first. Temple's a really hot team right now. They both got the same record, which is funny. But just Nova's experience recently in the tournament, Jay Wright's experience in the tournament, they still have some players on this team who won a national championship last year. So I would say Nova.
I'm inclined to agree. I think the bigger difference is that Temple has the ability to surprise folks, and here's the reason why.
Yep.
Nobody knows who the hell half of Temple's roster is. So
Yeah.
they've got an opportunity to come in there and surprise.
Yeah, I don't-
Nobody.
They can come in there and surprise some folks and have an opportunity, depending on how they do in the tournament, if they get an at-large bid, whatever the case may be. They can come in and surprise and maybe sneak past a round or two, and Nova, everybody puts their best foot forward because they've won 2 titles.
Okay, should Zion Williamson shut it down?
I'll let you go first.
I'm going to say, for all intents and purposes, he absolutely should not, and here's the reason why. Listen, I get it. I understand it. There's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of risk. He also took an $8 million insurance policy. He's not going to lose anything. At worst, he'll still get drafted high. He'll still go into the NBA. He's still going to be a stud. The reason you need him to play is 2 things. Number 1, there's a lot of parts of his game that people still need to see if he has the ability to do. Number 2, the biggest thing is you can only help Duke win if you play. Now, do I think he should play in meaningless games against brothers or poor sisters or poor? No. But you got conference play coming up, and you got the tourney. There's not much else for him left to play for except that. And if they got a chance to go deep in the tourney, which they do, I don't see how you can sit that kid down. I mean, you saw what happened. They took him out and they got blown out by 20 to North Carolina, who they were favored to beat. So I really think that for all intents and purposes, he has to play.
He should play, and to your point, you're like having important games coming up. Conference tournament, national tournament. He's going to play well in those games. So to think that his draft stock won't continue to go up, his endorsements will continue to go up, people outside of basketball will continue to look at him as he plays well, all that will continue to skyrocket if he plays. If he sits down, people start to question all that, his heart, all that. You don't want that questioned if he plays, so that goes up. So no, he should not shut it down. He should play as soon as he is healthy, but only 100% healthy. Don't go out there, Zion, if you're not 100% healthy. You're just going to hurt yourself again.
On a side note, I heard Nike lost almost $1 billion after that debacle with the
They
sneaker.
lost stuff with Kaepernick, too. It's Nike. They're going to go right back up.
Agreed.
Okay, so on a scale from 1 to 10, how much of a sleazeball is Robert Kraft?
Let me go first, because let me go first before you piss people off.
didn't write this
Because I'm going to piss
question.
people off. You gonna piss
I
people off.
didn't write the question, and don't piss me off.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with 5, because it is sleazy what he did.
What-
Yes.
What part is sleazy about it?
You know what part is sleazy about? You want me to spell it out? Like,
Yes.
Him going into a massage parlor and soliciting prostitution. That is the sleazy part about it. Absolutely. Why
the
it's a
sleazy part.
5? What's the sleazy part?
No, go ahead.
Okay, why it's a 5 and not a 10 is because he's definitely, 1, not the first time that he's done it. 2, not the only high-profile person doing it, and probably not doing it there.
That's
So because
why he's
everybody
less of
does
a
it, then it makes him
sleazeball?
less
Right,
sleazy.
that's why he's less of a sleazeball?
You walked into that one.
No,
You
you're done. You're done.
Go.
All right, listen. I don't think he's sleazy at all.
If you're
And
mad
what I'm
at
gonna
me,
say is
wait
gonna
till what
piss
he
people
says.
off, but I'm gonna keep it honest. Listen, public service announcement. Every man in this world, regardless of the
No.
age, creed, whatever, you're gonna pay one way or another. Whether it's cash, whether it's time, whether it's energy, you're gonna pay for it. So he just happens to do
Energy.
a trade of services for a cash payment. Now, the only thing that makes it bad is the fact that it could be involved with sex trade. We don't know the truth about that. The details have to come out. If that's the case, then by all means, absolutely 100%. But on the flip side, where do you think the people who come in there and work in those shops and don't speak any English come from? I mean, they're not exactly like, living around you. Like, it's crazy to me that, I don't know, like, it's terrible in theory, but he's also a billionaire who's widowed. He's been single for a long time. He didn't have to go there, but that's what he chose. Whatever.
Bet you like my answer better now.
No, I don't, because sex workers are workers.
Yeah.
And they deserve to be treated like workers. Now, if there is a slave, I get it. I'm going. Like they're like, wrap it up. Like, but if there's a lot of like slave, there's a lot of
slave
sex,
thing is always
the
bad.
slave sex trade gets really dangerous and it's really problematic and it's horrible. But sex workers are workers and they deserve to be treated like such. So, never mind. Anyway. Okay. Time to move on to Upon Further Review.
I haven't heard the British accent in a while.
Yeah, how's Jakeem?
Terrible. He's like Upon Further Review.
He like only tried it one time. It was terrible. He didn't try it again.
You have to keep going. I had to get it. I had to like build up to it.
You had to work for it.
Well, it's time for it. So I'm going to kick it over to Sean.
Thanks, Mick. We're gonna move right past the last.
Wait, hold on.
Conversation.
Wait, Pikachu. Your name is Sean?
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd you interrupt him in this?
Because it's Pikachu.
We're moving right along here, folks. This week we asked Eagles fans to tell us who they want the Eagles to go after out of Tevin Coleman, Spencer Ware, Dante Fowler Jr., and C.J. Mosley. The overwhelming choice was C.J. Mosley. Do you guys agree?
So I'm gonna say, yeah, I agree 1,000%. And here's the reason why. What's one of the problems with the Eagles? Linebackers. What does C.J. Mosley play? Linebacker. I mean, Tevin Coleman's a running back. Everybody's screwing about Bell, so Ware and Coleman are out. I like Dante Fowler as maybe a close second as a defensive lineman, but you don't think you're going to meet his price tag anyway.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with C.J. Mosley. Pretty much for all the reasons you said. I was kind of leaning Spencer Ware because of the problems the void Eagles have at running back. Also, he's a big back, and you need big bruising backs. Have worked.
Oh, Josh Adams is a no-go?
Not a no-go, but Spencer Ware has been a starter and a starter for a long time, half a season to a season in the NFL. Josh Adams gave you a good game and a half and then started regressing. Spencer Ware has given the Chiefs very good games in the past. So, but I would agree, out of those four, C.J. Mosley goes to the top.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I just want to jump to this. I need to know the picture perfect. I'm not going. Do I have to go? I'm not going with the other thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not going. I can go to picture perfect. Okay, so please tell me your most iconic Philly sports photo.
Oh, that's easy. AI, step over, forever. Like, when he stepped over Tyronn Lue, it literally became like a classic moment in Philadelphia sports. Like, people still talk about that 20 years later.
So people kids who don't even know who it was. Know that it was AI.
Or the context of the game.
That outline is like.
Against an undefeated Lakers team coming in.
Yeah.
And just Philly sports that goes in, not like American sports. Anyone on any side of the country knows,
Yep.
But like ABC feel like our news, they might as well just change the little color thing to like the AI step over. Like we'd be perfectly fine with it.
I'm gonna stay with the Sixers and go the Dr. J and Larry Bird choking each other out. Also with the context of that Sixers Celtics rivalry back in the 80s, how Dr. J and Larry Bird would go at it. That's just the culmination of it all, and to capture that moment when they're on the court choking each other out is gonna live. It's gonna live in infamy for a whole.
You think we could get the AI step over? Like we can get a statue of it like next to Rocky? Like I feel like it's up there.
It's got it.
I feel like it is. It's like my generation's Rocky.
It should go somewhere.
All right, it is time for
maybe Jordan will paint it up for us.
Hey, Jordan.
Wait, yeah, I think we got to do that.
Might have to get a special request.
We need the AI step over.
We need AI step over painted.
We need the AI step over.
You know what I mean?
I'm not stepping over.
Oh, well done.
Stepping over ET.
Okay, it is time for our tap outs.
All right, I'm gonna let you go first.
I'm gonna go first. I don't have much for this tap out, but I will say this. I went to the movie tavern the other weekend.
Which one?
The one in Exton, AMC movie tavern.
Not in Philadelphia.
Not in Philadelphia. And I went and saw Glass, and I got, stupid enough for me, I got like this actual dinner platter. It was like smoked brisket mac and cheese. The mac and cheese was good, but the brisket was awful. I don't know what I was expecting from a movie theater to cook me such a good dinner, but I was really.
Have you never been to a movie tavern?
Yeah, I've never ordered actual food from movie tavern.
Oh, you actually spent $40 for.
And it was bad food, and it ruined my movie going experience. So I would say that ordering actual food at the movie tavern like ruins the whole. Like I didn't like the whole. Once I took it,
You gotta go pretzels, man.
yeah, I went.
First
and
of all,
got-
their pizza is banging. But anyway,
I went and got popcorn and pretzel bites, and then I felt much more at like the movies. It felt much better than trying to get actual food and pretend like I'm somewhere I'm not.
I don't
so.
want chicken fajitas.
Grab
and
me a-
burgers.
Get out of there.
oh, y'all are lame. Go ahead,
Try
EJ. What's your tap out?
All right, so my tap out is gonna be. I'm gonna talk about what the heck is going on during February, the month of February.
Wait, we got an all black
Listen,
cast
first of all,
here.
first of
Like
all,
it's
listen,
Black
man.
History Month.
Black History Month.
All
Listen, and that's
black
great.
hosts.
Before
What's
get
up,
that
my
out
new
before he
Philly?
says what he's about to say.
Yes, happy Black History
Happy
Month
Black History
for
Month.
more black cast here at my new Philly. Happy Black History Month.
Because I'm gonna talk about the
Okay.
fact that R. Kelly's finally being brought to justice, but the
Yeah.
bigger one that's really disappointing. What's up with my man Jesse, man? Listen, first of all, bro,
No, something don't sit right.
You faked a hate crime.
You don't know that.
Lied about it.
You don't
Made
know
it
that.
worse. Made
Making
it
it
worse
so much
along the
worse.
way. Went out there, called yourself the gay Tupac. Just, I mean, dude, what are you doing? And now it's coming out that you were just lying.
Listen.
And turned yourself in. Now you done burned
No.
yourself. You done, and the thing is, you know what's crazy?
They're in the same jail too.
Everything was
They
about
are in the same jail.
Everything was about money, and that's what makes it so bad. He was mad about how much he was getting paid at Byron, did this as a publicity stunt to try to get more money. And now you've lost your job. They're gonna kill him off the show.
I don't know this for
Stupid.
for certain, but I heard he makes about $6-figure an episode.
$100,000 now.
So what are you
Right.
complaining about? $100,000 an episode.
I mean,
'Cause
in
everybody else makes more.
It's in comparison to all the
Right,
people
everybody else
that
makes
he's
more.
around.
Must be nice to be
He
complaining
wasn't
about
on
that.
that much.
I mean, he's been on the show
But
4 years. I don't know how many
he
episodes that
makes
is, but
more-
it's good
the
money.
thing, it's not that it's about everyone else. He makes more money from his like music, like doing music around and like
Right.
whatever. So he makes more money from that. So he felt like the show should have like met him where he was at now.
Aren't there
but
different ways of taking that up with people?
I mean, yeah, but he forgot that like you know the first check is for the mortgage, but the second is for the insurance.
Right,
like, come on,
right.
bro. Like you
And-
got to take care of what you
and
why,
the part-
why you getting those singing gigs.
And
but
the part about it that's really bad is the fact that now you've only fueled the fire and enraged in terms of polarizing people
I mean,
because it was already
listen,
a racial climate
people-
to begin with.
people
and he
didn't
went
need
that
any help
MAGA
with that.
route and all that. Like, it
People,
wasn't
people
necessary.
They
don't,
didn't need help
people
with that,
don't
but-
need any help with
But you
that.
gave him fuel for
If
no
it
reason.
wasn't,
Ammunition.
if it wasn't one thing, it's another. Like whatever.
But
But something
he
about
gave it to
I don't
them.
know
That's
what,
the-
but something about the Jesse thing just don't sit right. Like it don't sit well with me, and I don't know what it is. But like I'm excited. Like
You mean that he
first of all,
lied?
you can't trust the Chicago police at all. We can't ever get any kind of investigation going on for anybody that gets murdered. But somehow Jesse's in there 2 days, and we know all the information. It was a check. He got a
It's
check.
high
from this.
profile.
Listen,
He made it high
I'm
profile.
not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying he didn't lie, but also, have you seen Empire? Like, if he was lying, that's some of the best acting he's ever done in his life.
Wow.
So
K-Man's
I
acting
got questions.
I'm through.
Okay, I don't have a tap out. I'm just happy to be
I feel
home.
like that was your tap out.
Yeah, I'm good. Like I'm good
Your
off that.
counter to my tap
Also,
out.
R. Kelly is still muted. He's still unless he gets life, then we could talk about it again. But R. Kelly is still muted. So I don't want to hear ET.
I'm not
You're
throwing
not the
his
mountain
CDs
peak of
away.
high. Like you're not the world's greatest today. You're not trapped in a closet. Like he's still on mute.
I'm not trapped in anybody's closet. What are you
With R.
talking
Kelly.
about?
Okay. Well, I'm tapping out. So I want to show you guys this Jordan Spector piece one more
There it
time.
is.
So if
Oh.
you are going to share this show, oh hey Jordan.
That's a talented
go.
man.
Pop right out. Yeah.
Yes.
Talented man
now.
right there. Look
Yeah,
at that.
share this show right now. Share it tomorrow. Share it tonight. All week
Stuff.
to win this. But you're gonna have to beat me for it. So thank you for watching Trust the Process Live on My New Philly, where something is always new and everything's always Philly. I love this so much. I'm here for.
I actually didn't peep the trust the process on the
I
ball.
said it when I saw when Aaron walked past. How much do you have to like study their
Where we at in
faces to
time?
do this?
Not that much.
over.
But I find the combination of pictures and I'm like, all right, this is the one.
Had a bunch of shit.
I want to text it to him. Where's my phone? Let me text it to Joey.
Guys in the banner with,
Can I have my phone, Pikachu?
his artwork. It's a good shot.
Pikachu. What's up? Can I have my phone?
Yes, you can.
Buzz down,
Let me get the other one too.
Wait to see you buzz down.
Oh no.
That B-Dark one is crazy
All
too.
up here at